All right, good morning. Welcome to Inside Pages on Metro Television. Sorry about that. We had a bit of a technical challenge, and that's why we having to start the show this very minute. But it's been sorted. Thank God. Inside Pages is now live. I want to thank you very much for your patience. I've had tons of messages and calls. What's happening to Inside Pages? I said sometimes these machines act funny. We're so sorry. But what we can promise you is a very, very, very insightful and a great conversation this morning on Inside Pages. My name is Aldo Moro. Thanks for choosing us. This morning we have two very important conversations to have. One, the president has come under some flack. The president has come under some intense criticism for making certain comments in the course of this week. So some traditional leaders from Ekumfi came to the president or paid a courtesy call on the president to ask why Ekumfi has not had its fair share of Ghana's development. The president tells them, well, there's a reason why. And he said he's got to be honest. One of the reasons why Ekumfi has not had its fair share of its development is because a man who he put there in 2020 is called Ato Kujo. The people there actually kicked him out. They voted him out. And that's why he's turned a blind eye. That's why he snubbed them. And that's why he's neglected them. But he would have a rethink about it and, pay some attention to Ekumfi. But he's come under some intense criticism with that kind of comment that he made. Some say, well, he's only stating the obvious. But there are also some who say that the president's comments is distasteful, it's unacceptable, and it's unfortunate. I don't know where you stand on this, but I'll be sharing the WhatsApp line to you so that you can tell me where you stand on this particular matter. But the second topic is about free SHS. It's come up for another conversation. Why? Because this week there were some publications about hundreds for tens of thousands of Ghanaian students, first-year students, who still can't go to school despite free SHS. They say they have serious financial difficulties, and so they can't go to school. Really? I mean, there's supposed to be free SHS. So what are you sitting at home? What are you doing at home? In fact, when we started the free SHS, when I say we, as a state, as a country, we were just told that you only need to pick your trunk and your chop box, just pick your sponge and you're good to go, and your soap, you're good to go. You don't need to really spend money on anything. So what is this financial difficulty? Is there something that you and I don't know, some expenditure that parents have been asked to incur, in addition to what government is paying, and that's why these kids can't go to school? I'll be right back after this break. This is Inside Pages. All right, welcome back. This is Inside Pages. My name is Aldo Moro. We'll kickstart our conversation shortly with the issue about free SHS. I did indicate that the big news for this week, we all woke up to this very, very, very worrying and very disturbing news about free SHS. Now we're told that about, maybe let me just read the story to you. And, okay, so here we go. In fact, there's actually a rejoinder by the Ghana Education Service. Now, the Ghana Education Service has actually had to clarify. It says that, has clarified that actually 2,569 fresh senior high school students are yet to report to school, despite gaining admission, and not 137,000, as earlier announced by the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools in the region. Now, I said the Education Director said although 14,558 candidates were expected to be enrolled in schools in the Western North region, 11,989 students representing 82% have currently picked up their admission slots in the area. Now, the Public Relations Officer of the GES in the Western North, that's Daniel Amma. So it's Daniel Amma Ofori, told the media that measures have been taken to ensure admission targets are met. Now, the current enrollment is 11,989 students, which is about 82%. And so our remaining target to meet is 2,569 students. Although significant progress has been made with the enrollment rate, there is still work to be done to meet our set target. Now, he adds that the Directorate has deployed circuit supervisors to create awareness about the need for parents to enroll their wards in schools. And it says, since we have about 3% to meet our target, we are ready to deploy our circuit supervisors to, to be on the ground to help the parents and their wards understand the importance of education. And so most parents are now convinced to bring their wards to school. The president of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, that's CHAS. So these are the group of headmasters. And it says the Western North region, Nana Amo Amankwa had earlier urged persons yet to pick up the admission slots due to financial challenges to still come. A good number, then I'm going to quote him. He says, a good number of schools have mattresses, so we just want them to come. They should not think about the items on the prospectus, so long as they can get a towel and a sponge. He says, once you can get a towel and a sponge, come to school. They should come. They don't have to get everything on the prospectus before they come. Now, strongly, or let me say, quite related to this development, it's a statement that was made by an education think tank, that's Africa Education Watch, where they're saying that expenses on prospectus and other items by parents actually outweigh the cost incurred by the government under the Free SHS program. So when we get free, EdWatch, when they join us, they'll be telling us more. That's the Africa Education Watch. When they join us, they'll be telling us more about the expenses side, which actually outweighs what government is paying by way of intervention. Because the whole idea behind the Free SHS is to make sure that parents don't pay anything. Okay? The government is taking care of every important item that ought to be paid for so that your child can go to school. So how come we're beginning to see a situation where parents have actually had to bear twice what government is paying? So really, we're beginning to actually question whether the Free SHS is really indeed free or not. We may be wrong, but when we get the Ghana Education Service person who will be joining us shortly to throw some more light on this, maybe we'll get some clarity on this matter. But that's not the only issue we're talking about. Ekumfi, as I did indicate, this week, some traditional leaders went to visit the president because they have realized that Ekumfi is not getting its fair share of development, and they are worried. They're very disturbed. So they went to the president and said, Mr. President, what's happening? We're not seeing anything or nothing did happen. Well, the president says, well, I'll tell you the truth. Nothing won't happen because you people, I put somebody there as an MP. I made him a deputy minister. You decided to sack him in 2020. So I'm going to be honest with you. That's why nothing's happening in Ekumfi. But now that you've come to see me, you've paid me a courtesy call, I'll think about it. That's what the president said. We'll play you that video. So let's play that video of the president interacting with the traditional leaders from Ekumfi. And then when we come back, I'll introduce my resource person. So Nana Ajantwa is the former general secretary of the CPP. She is taking time off a very busy schedule to join us. We're grateful. She'll be joining us shortly. And also, the Honorable Kojo Edu Asari. He's a former member of parliament for the Adentan constituency. He'll also be joining us there. A New Patriotic Party, actually at the last 11th hour, said that they've not been able to get somebody to represent them, especially as far as this Ekumfi conversation is concerned. So you won't hear the side of the New Patriotic Party on this. But on the Free SHS matter, the Deputy PRO for the Education Ministry will be speaking to us and be clarifying some of the issues. So if the video is ready, please let's play the video whilst we welcome Nana Ajantwa and Honorable Kojo Edu Asari.
Atukujo. No, yeah, MP or the man be a minister, or a deputy minister. They need to say when you say a Namson, so also be shall say BB, Amamo, Ekumfi. I'm quite election for by a year free hall. Then now can't be like a crammet, you can miss me, many crash of films. Man can't cry there. But there's also mobile, material walker. Anyway, a cracker. Atukujo. No, yeah, MP or the man be a minister, or a deputy minister. They need to say when you say a Namson, so also be shall say BB, Amamo, Ekumfi. I'm quite election foforɔ baa ɛyi no free hall na no nyinaa ka ho bi na kakra metumi aka sɛ meso meyi m'ani kakra so firi mu so manka no koraa na ɛnyɛ ba nanso so no mabɛɛ mate deɛ mɔka no ɛnɛhwɛ kakrakra atokudwo a na ɔyɛ MP wɔ mema no bɛyɛ minister ɔbɛyɛ deputy minister ne titiri sɛ when you say ɛnam sonsɔno so bɛhyɛ ase ayɛ biribi ama mo akumfi na ankɔ akyire election foforɔ baa ɛyi no free hall na no nyinaa ka ho bi na kakra metumi aka sɛ meso meyi m'ani kakra so firi mu so manka no koraa na ɛnyɛ ba.
All right, welcome back. This is Inside Pages on Metro Television. My resource persons are comfortably seated, and in fact, majestically seated. They would have their take on the two topics that we've raised this morning. Now, the first one is about free SHS. We'll start with Nana Jantua, who is the former General Secretary of the CPP, a very good friend of the media. Nana, good to see you. Good morning. How are you? Should I be wishing Happy New Year again? Well, have you met this year? Oh, Happy New Year. Oh, sorry. No, it's on. Yeah, Happy New Year.
Because times are hard,
Yes.
you think that we have met.
So that's what times are hard.
We haven't met, but I want to see some. I see Nana Kunedu Rollins loyal to vote for.
It's an old story. It's an old publication. Yeah, because you know this is Inside Pages. Inside, that's why you see all these newspapers around.
It's of interest
Inside
to
of
me.
the
I wanted
pages,
to see. That's my
But you
cousin.
recall that story? It's an old story.
She's my cousin, so I want to know.
Oh, the former first lady is your cousin?
Yes.
Kunedu Rajma Rollins is your cousin?
Yes.
I didn't know
You don't
this.
know.
I had no idea.
Kunedu is my cousin.
I see.
And she's my first cousin.
Are you in touch? You guys talk from time to time?
Oh, yes. From time to time we talk.
Okay.
I have to even go and see her. I haven't seen her for
Yeah.
a while.
Well, people are questioning where really her allegiances lie now. Do you know whether she's still with the NDP or she's with the NDP?
She has a party, NDP, so let's leave it like that.
All right. So NDP. All right. Yeah, it's NDP. I get that. No problem. NDP. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning.
Swagger. You know.
Long time.
Yeah, long time. How's it going, sir?
We are surviving.
Yeah. It's been a while though. Happy New Year.
Sure. Happy New Year to you, bro.
Any New Year's wish?
Any?
New Year's wish?
Oh, just to see this government.
I thought that's
the
much.
back of this government. That's the wish of Ghanaians.
Right.
I can't say.
I'm sure when you went for 31st night, if you did go for 31st, that was one of your prayers.
I did. I mean, it's not my prayer. Even God wants it to happen. So even if I don't pray, I know God will see to it.
Right.
God doesn't want his people to suffer or continue to suffer over a period. But of course, we brought it onto ourselves.
Right. So I want us to start with this rather disturbing story. This week, I think it was on Wednesday or so, we woke up to this screaming headlines that first-year students, Ghanaian students, Ghanaian students, are unable to enroll in the various schools that have been assigned to them by the computerized placement system. And the only reason is that they are facing financial difficulties. In fact, the story said 160,000 students, but then it attributes this to Western North. Okay. And the GES comes out to say, the 160-something thousand figure that we've seen is not attributed to Western North, and that of Western North is 2,000-something, about 2,700. Now, that's just for Western North. We have 16 regions. We don't know the numbers for the other 15 regions.
Granted that even is safe.
Even if you're going to use 2,000 as a baseline number, that's almost,
10,000.
Yes, over 10,000. I mean, for me, the issue is even if it's one child who's unable to go to school because of financial difficulties, then we must begin to look at the free SHS policy again. That's where I'm coming from. Because the whole idea is school. There shouldn't be any financial obstacle in your way. That's the whole, in fact, that's the overarching, what you call philosophy driving the free SHS. So if we're not meeting it, then what are we doing? So for me is the question. So I'll start with the Honorable Kojo Edwasari. He hasn't been here in a long time. It's my man, you know.
It's
The
all
Honorable,
the
I don't know, but it bothers me. I don't know if it bothers you too.
Yeah, Moro, I think over the last 7 years or thereabout, when this whole free SHS program was rolled out, we had this hope, you know, especially because of the way it was touted, you know, as some savior that was, you know, or a savior policy that was coming to, you know, if not completely obliterate that school dropout system.
Right.
Then it was really going to at least match up, or let me say, eliminate it to a certain considerable levels.
Right.
Over the years, for every policy, one expects that, you know, it is rolled out and then tested over a period. And as we get on, or as we get along, we also review them and look at the shortfalls within the system and also try to patch up those shortfalls.
Right.
One would ask, what has been in the last 5 years or so, what has been the shortfalls?
Right.
And if there are, what has been the, let me say, attempt by government to mitigate those shortfalls or find ways and means to mitigate those shortfalls?
Right.
For me, it appears as if we have over-politicized this free SHS thing.
Okay.
To the extent that the government sees anyone who raises any kind of issue that appears like coming against it in a way. There's a marauding attempt by government to come after that person.
Yeah.
And you see, it's not only for politicians.
Yeah.
It has seeped all the way even to the students themselves.
Right.
To the extent that if you called an SHS student today and ask him, how is your school treating you regarding your feeding and this and that and that?
Yeah.
Mom, they won't say anything. They won't say a word.
Even
their parents.
Your own children.
Yes, your own children. They won't tell you anything.
Right.
They will look at you. Oh, mommy. Oh, daddy. Oh, you. And it is because they have been warned by the schools not to do so.
Right.
If you moved it to the teachers, the graduate teachers at the secondary or whatever level.
Right.
Even NAGRAT, until last year, in the last 6 years.
Okay.
How many times did you hear them complaining about free SHS? They were fought on all sides.
But government is also concerned. There are some people who just want to bastardize the free SHS, such that people do not see anything good about it.
You see,
so they have to find a way of making sure that people talk less about free SHS.
And is that a way? That is, and even animals, you don't treat them like that.
Right.
The whole thing is about us. The policy is for us. So if for any reason something is going wrong, and somebody has a role to play in it and wants to bring that to bear, so that we all look at the shortfalls and deal with it, and you gag that person. You know, we used to have Parent-Teacher Association. PTA.
Yeah.
Today, we don't have Parent-Teacher Association.
Right.
What we have is Parents Association.
True.
All the teachers have been asked not to join any such associations.
I see.
Do you understand?
I get
So those days when we used to have this PTA, they have programs in the schools. So parents will come, they will attend meetings with teachers, and they discuss these issues, whatever the issues are. Today we have parents association, and they only exist on WhatsApp platforms.
That's where they pour their frustrations.
They don't even get to pour it because
They can't even
70% of those who have the voice to speak on that WhatsApp platform, they will gag you when you start. Oh,
Right.
this is not a political what do you call it? The platform is not for political discussions. You don't bring partisan issues on the platform. They will gag you.
So why form the WhatsApp group then?
You see, so all you have to do as a parent is just to mind your business, find ways and means to reach out to your child in that school.
I see.
Borrow money. I would say I did not get the opportunity to send any of my kids through that system
Right.
in the last 5 years. But I have a very close friend. We speak every day.
Right.
And I know the frustrations that gentleman has been through over the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
He has 4 children. The first one went to Mfansipim under this free SHS. Second one went to Mfansiman under free SHS. The third one is in Presec.
Okay.
The second one just finished and she's in tech right now.
Okay.
And I know the suffering of this gentleman on daily basis. And today it is Abeku, tomorrow it's Erekwa, tomorrow Abeku, the next day Erekwa, like that. Cape Coast and back, Salt Pond and back, Cape Coast and back, just to go and feed these children, bring stuff to them.
Why feed them?
Yes,
the schools are supposed to feed them. I mean, the schools, government has given these schools
You see, Master,
sufficient
let's-
funds
let's
and resources for them to feed them.
Let's be frank with ourselves. I mean, of course,
Are you saying it's not happening?
I won't sit here and say that in our days we had all rosy systems. I won't say so. We were going through tough times, especially with feeding and all of that. But it's not as bad as it is today.
But why is that so?
Why is that so? Because government is not even releasing food to the schools. And it's also because they are not paying those who supply the food to the schools. So, in as much as the head of the schools, or let's say the school management, is not permitted to do these procurements for feeding and all of that,
Yes, it's been centralized. Yes. It's not been decentralized.
they are some of them are compelled.
Yeah. Through buffer stock, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
some of them are compelled
Okay.
to use unconventional means. Unconventional here means reaching out to parents
Yeah.
to bring supplies.
Yeah.
Okay, to come and augment whatever the buffer stock system is providing.
Okay.
All right, and I
Yeah.
can give you a typical example. Go and check with Presec.
Okay.
The Presec Old Students Association is doing it. The Mfantsipim Old Students Association is doing it. And you can check, you'll have your media people check,
Okay.
and you will get such results.
Interesting.
So for me,
Before you go ahead, Honorable, and sorry for cutting you because we want to hear it from the horse's own mouth. I mean, in your case, you said none of your kids is there, but you have friends who you talk to on a daily basis, and they've been pouring out some of these frustrations and concerns about how the free SHS policy has been implemented. Now let's speak to the parents themselves, the parents whose wards are in school. Let's talk to them and find out what exactly are their concerns, and then I'll come back to you. Sorry for rudely interrupting. I'm so sorry about that. I'm told I have Daniel Vrumlayi, who is the Western Region Chairman, National Council of PTA Association. Yes, Daniel Vrumlayi. Daniel, I'm told you're on Zoom. Daniel, good morning. Hello, Daniel, can you hear me? Please unmute so that I can hear you.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
Wonderful. I can hear you now. So National Council of PTA Association. Tell us a bit about this group first. First of all, we need to understand really what this group stands for, what your mission is, so I know what kinds of questions to ask you. So, National Council of PTA Association. We used to have just PTA associations. Then now we're told there's only, Parents Association without a T. So, who are you, National Council of PTA Association?
Well, thank you, my brother. Let me use this opportunity to say good morning to my national executives and other school-based and then the zonal executives. Yes, my brother, NCPTA is an association duly registered with the Registrar General Department and and it's a constitution ruling body. And then we have existed for so many years in this country, and we are for all government-supported second cycle and basic schools. In fact, we have existed, and everybody knows us. I think everybody in Ghana knows about PTA. These are parents that comes together, form an association to give a helping hand to our various schools and to make sure that our children in the various schools are having a conducive environment and a conducive situations, around them, whilst the parents are not with them in the various schools. We have a track record. When you go to all the various schools in the nation, we have a record where even till now, when you go to even the very schools that seems not to really or dance with other people who are singing certain songs, there's a record of PT over there. On what we have done so far in the country.
I see, and you want to? I need you to confirm this. It's parents and teachers, not just parents. The group consists.
My brother, we have the association's name is PTA. That is what we have at the Registrar General Department. We don't have anything like parent association.
Right.
Because for the association to be complete, everything of the association to be completed, we need the teachers to be involved because they are equally parents.
Okay.
They are equally parents.
Right. Okay, that's good. So I needed that clarity to be made before we proceed. Now, we woke up to this very disturbing story on Wednesday. It was carried by most of the news portals. We're told that close to 160 or 170,000 first-year students who are supposed to go to school, report to school, aren't there. They are not in school. And CHAS is telling us, and that's Western North CHAS is telling us, and I'm talking about Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High Schools, they're telling us that what they know as being the reason why these children are not in school is because of financial difficulties. I want you to first of all tell me what you know about this development, because Western Northwestern region, your cousins, it's almost the same geographical place. So I'm sure that you've been following that story. What do you know about these school children, first-year students who are unable to go to school because of the financial difficulties that their parents are facing? Never mind the fact that GES actually had to come out to say it was actually 2,700, not 167,000. So GES says Western North, 2,600 students, first-year students are unable to report. So if we're going to go by what the GES is saying, then let's work with that number. There's 2,000 something. But why are these 2,000 or so first-year students not to school? What do you know as a council, as far as this rather disturbing story is concerned?
Very well. Thank you, my brother. To start with, my brother, if we are a serious nation, even if the number is 100, it's 100, it calls for a worry. If indeed we are a serious nation, if the number is 100, even 50, it calls for a worry. Now, whatever story that is going on concerning our children who are not in school today, my brother, the financial crisis that parents are going through today is massive and it's very alarming. Now, a child is posted to a school. Let's say a child is staying in Takwa and is posted to a school probably around Takoradi, and that child is made a day student, which means that if you send that child to the school, you have to go and rent for that particular child. Aside that, my brother, even transportation cost alone, carrying that child from Takwa to Takoradi, or probably from Takoradi to Asankagwa, the transportation alone involved in this is not an easy thing. Carrying all the luggage, everything to that school, and go and rent a room for that child. We are not looking at other things. All we know, the preaching and everything that concerning this free education is that government has taken over everything. Just bath your child and bring your child to school. It doesn't work like that. It is not like that. Practically, that is not true on the ground. The parents are suffering. They are going through a lot. Because one, my brother, things you are buying, a parent end up spending close to 6,000 to 7,000 cedis items before the child going to school. You get to the school, before leaving the school, because you want the quality education which is not provided for your child, you need to spend a lot of money before leaving the school. So, you see, the free thing we are talking about, you see, it's high time we have to revisit this particular sentence. You understand? The financial burdens on parents now, as we talk, as you are speaking, the financial burdens on parents, my brother, is unbearable. Too much. You see, and we need to look at it. We need to re-look at it, because honestly speaking, as I was saying about transportation, that's set aside. The things, a child is going to school, we need to buy other things. The cost of items to buy is becoming too much. Some schools, as I speak to you, are insisting on certain things that we were not using before. Some will tell you they need a plastic chalkboard, which costs almost between 500 to 700 Ghana cedis. You understand? And looking at all these things day by day, you realize that when you put everything together, a parent who is a cocoa farmer cannot afford some of these things. So the only thing is that you let the child stay home. And if really we want to bring all children on board to be educated, then probably there's a need for us to review this free education policy, because to tell you, with the things happening on ground, it's not helping at all. It's not helping.
Now, on average, Honorable, how much do you have to spend? Let's even assume that your child doesn't have to travel far to go to school. Say you live in A. Your child goes to school in A. I'm talking about zone A. Your child gets an admission in zone A. I'm not even talking about those who have to travel to some other jurisdiction to go to school. On average, what do you know to be the amount of money that you have to cough out if you want your child to be able to go to school comfortably? Can you give us a sense?
All right. Thank you, my brother. It's very simple. When you go to the school, even if we take away transportation and probably we assume that the child is maybe being enrolled in as a border, or probably lives within the community that can go and come back. My brother, with the prospectus and other things that the other monies you are going to spend in the school and come back, you will not spend less than 5,000 cedis.
Less than 5,000 Ghana cedis?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yes.
So hold on. So what it means is that these students we're talking about, the first set students who aren't to school, probably fall under the category of parents who can't raise that 5,000 Ghana cedis to get their wards to go to school.
My brother, the answer will be yes. Some parents have gone ahead. I personally know some parents that have gone for huge loans to make sure their children have gone to school. Yes. Wow. They have gone for huge loans to make sure their children have gone to school. So, honestly speaking, as I said, these children that are home, they are not the children. I mean, all of them are not. Sorry, all of them are not enrolled within their community. Most of them are going to travel very far. Most of them are going to travel very far, very far. I know a child that is coming to school from the Savannah region into Western region. So if such a child, such a parent is not having enough, then that means that he cannot come. That child cannot come. What? So honestly speaking, those at home now, yes, financially, they are all handicaps because the money is not there. Of course, it's a dream for every parent to see the child to be somewhere. To go far ahead in life. I don't believe there's a parent that will say that, no, there's opportunity for my child to go to school. The means and everything is there. And then probably, no, I don't want my child to be in school. Stay in the house and farm with me. Stay in the house and fish with me or whatever it is. No. But it all comes down to financial crisis. Financial crisis. They don't have it. Things are expensive. They give you a prospectus online. You go and buy. Some parents have even gone to buy things in the prospectus. They send it to the various schools, and the schools will tell you that this the item A, B, C, D, we don't need it. Go and change it to this. At whose expense? Whose expense? If you have made your mistake, why should I pay for it? These are some of the things that are happening. Wow. So you see, the parents are going through too much this time around. They are going through too much. The free education, the way it started it, my brother, that is not what we are seeing today. That is not what we are seeing today. Even the amount of supply that is coming to the schools today, go and check. That is not what is coming. The monies that they started with giving to the schools, that is not the money that are coming. Even when they tell you they've increased something, then go and check again the exchange rate or something, or go and check the value of that money today. Nothing is going to the school. There are too many problems because parents as well know very well, because we have parents who have other siblings, or probably they have other children in the various schools. We have parents who have other friends who have children in the school, and they know what they are going through. So apart from even the transportation and other things, a parent wants to make sure that I have enough food for the child before going to the school, because they know very well that most children go to that school and they go and develop ulcer and other things from the school because there is no enough food in the school. Some schools go to some children go to the school, and as I speak to you, they drink tea in the morning, they drink Tom Brown in the afternoon, they drink tea in the evening. This were going on in most of the schools for so many weeks. So if I'm a parent and I know very well these are the situation in the school, my brother, I have to adequately prepare myself well before I let the child go to school. So this is making the education so much expensive than we thought.
But Daniel, as parents, what can you do about the situation? I mean, there are people who feel that you've been too quiet for far too long. In fact, one of my resource persons who joined me this morning was just saying that it appears that even some of the parents are scared to talk about it, to bring up some of these issues to the attention of the policymakers. Do you get that same feeling or do you accept that verdict that you parents have been too quiet about the concerns you have about the way the free SHS has been implemented, and that you can do better?
Yes, my brother, I think that is correct. You see, we are in a nation whereby it has gotten to a point, fear has been dropped into the heart of every person. So you have a parent that is going through a lot, I had a parent who once told me that sometimes I feel like drinking something to kill myself because the problem is too much. Yes, you inquire from that particular mother what she's going through, and everything boiled down to education, for her not being able to see her child going through a proper education. I mean educational line. You see, The parents are quiet because, you see, most of them don't know how to channel their grievances. And that is why the PTA is there. Now, we raise issues most at times, and GES give us the deaf ear. But this is the time we want to speak to issue. We are not going to relent. We make sure we speak to issue. We tell the entire nation what is going on, because it's becoming too much. It's becoming too much, because the moment you bring your face, you want to speak to issues and make sure you give clarifications and the right thing is done, they will tag you. They will tag you. So every person is being careful because, yes, everybody loves his or her life. But it's time we have to speak to the truth.
What are some of the concrete steps you intend to take? That's my final question. What are some of the concrete steps that you believe you can take or you intend to take to get some of these problems fixed? Because I'm alarmed. I'm very worried that you are saying that today, if your parent and your child is in free SHS, your child is in senior high school, you have to cough out close to 5,000 Ghana cedis to get that child to go to school. Because I'm wondering how many parents can do that. And you have actually said that some parents have actually had to borrow money to be able to send their children to school. That's not really what the free SHS is supposed to do. It's supposed to take away the financial impediment in the way of parents so that you can go to school. And as I said, Daniel, we were told that all you need to do is to pick up your bag or your luggage, pick up your trunk and your chop box and go to school. In fact, the GS is saying all you need is your towel and your sponge. You don't need anything. So now you're telling you need an extra close to 5,000 Ghana cedis. What are some of the things that you intend to do going forward to deal with these nibbling problems?
Yeah, thank you, my brother. That is very true. Before I come to it, you see, that is it. That is the gospel that we knew or heard about the free education is, yes, you pick your towel and whatever, then you just wear your shoe, you are going to school. I'm about that. That is not true. You see, the government promised taking care of the burden, taking care of the books, uniform, taking care of the how do you call it, feeding and other things. But as I speak to you, my brother, you go to a school and then your child needs book to write. And that book is going to come when the Form 1 student is going to Form 2. That is when that book is going to come. And my brother, you are going to have 8 pieces of exercise books and 4 notebooks. And that you are supposed to use that up to the end of the school. Is that possible? No, that is not possible. So you end up as a parent going back again to buy books as you used to do when there's no free education. You go to school and
Hello, Daniel. Unfortunately, I think we have a connection to your Zoom link, and so we'll have to end this conversation. But I think you've made the point. You've said what you ought to say as far as what parents intend to do. You intend to hold a series of meetings and meet the Ghana Education Service and possibly the Ministry of Education to see what the Ministry of Education can do to bring down the cost involved, especially on the part of parents, for them to go to school. And interestingly, I've had quite a number of messages from some of you are watching us and saying that the 5,000 is actually even on the lower side, and some of you are spending 6,000, 6,500, some 7,000, and so on. I don't know. I'll come to Nanaya on this. The Ministry of Education's deputy PRO was speaking to us. We understand that he would like to set the record straight as far as some things are concerned. And so as and when we get through to him, he would be responding to some of the concerns that the parents have raised. Now, Honorable, I want you to land on this so that Honorable Nanaya can come in. Yeah, you were talking. I think you're saying something similar.
Yeah, similar to what
the man was saying.
Exactly,
yeah. Right.
My point. I'm happy he didn't depart
from what you said.
From what I said, because over the period, like I said, I am a parent as well.
Right.
Just that I didn't get to have my children go through the system. Doesn't mean
you don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's happening around. So, and there's a concern to some of us politicians because we are privileged to have a certain voice that at least gets listened to and sometimes heard, especially where policy issues are concerned. You see, for us to build a good system to ensure that children go to school does not only depend on a political or a policy from a political party.
Right.
There must be that concerted effort from various stakeholders. And that is what this whole free SHS thing is lacking. The fact that it is only government that is the wise one around. What they decide is final and not what other people have to contribute to ensure that it becomes successful.
Right.
So I'm not surprised we are getting to this point. And we still have minister. We've had one before, Napo, who now wants to be vice president.
Right.
And currently Educhum, who is running in the same system. They've gagged everybody. You heard the PTA man
Daniel
corroborate that. Until last year, 2023. Did you hear Charles talking? Did you hear Nagrat talking? Because they had been gagged. You couldn't have opened your mouth. You do it, you are transferred to Siberia, or they find something to like some way to expel you
but Charles
from
is
the
talking now. The parents are talking
That's
now.
what I'm saying.
What's
now
the
they have
difference?
found their voice.
Okay.
And I think it is also because this government has failed in all spheres. So they have lost that moral authority which they used to exert on the system around us. Okay? Because the long and short of it, the balance sheet could have been that Ghana was doing better in terms of economy, in terms of livelihoods of people. If we were doing so good, this government could have made us into slaves. But now, what has happened? Government itself is reeling under pressure. Economy is bad. And at the end of the day, they themselves cannot even answer simple questions about economy. They are all running away. I'm not surprised they don't have a rep on this show. Do you understand? Because they don't have perspectives that make sense anymore. And for which reason now, Charles is speaking, Parent Association is speaking,
right,
and the various whatever have found their voices. And I'm happy that even it's better late than never. Let's get to work. Let's see to it that these systems these are our children, for Christ's sake. We are not dealing with any foreigners. We are not dealing with aliens. We are dealing with our own children.
Right.
If these things are not going well, let us all come around a particular table, discuss it, review it, and do it better. For us, that is what it is.
The last time the education minister talked about review, he said it's not necessary because what is there to review? And that he still insists that if anybody talks about review, if any NDC person talks about review, as far as it's concerned, it's still cancellation of free SHS. And in fact, just recently, I think last week or so.
You see,
once it's coming from the NDC, it means it's a
think
cancellation.
that sometimes this disdainful attitude by politicians who, like myself, who all of a sudden have arrogated certain whatever to themselves, thinking that anything that comes to their head is palatable for people to listen to. They irk me brutally. Do you understand?
Right.
They are not the epitome of any wisdom. Let me make it plain. They are not wise, period. They are not, because if their wisdom has brought us this far, then they are not wise. Look, let us keep quiet for 30 minutes and open your phone lines. We will be shut up. We will shut up. And open your phone for just 30 minutes. Give everybody a minute and listen to 30 people. Okay. Let's see what will happen.
Okay. 0249-155-646. 0249-155-646. That's the WhatsApp line. I know you have an opinion to share on this matter. If your parents are watching us and you actually agree with what the PTA man who came on earlier to speak, you agree with him, fine. If you can relate to what he's saying, I'll be more than happy to hear from you. 0249 155 646. If you also disagree with him and that you didn't have to pay anything, your child is in school under free SHS, let us also know. We don't have any stance on this. I don't have any stance on this. Honorable has an opinion on this, and I'm sure that Honorable Nana Ajanto also has an opinion on this. Let me go to Honorable Nana Ajanto. Where do you stand on this? I mean,
stand on which one?
The man is. Daniel is still on Zoom. I'm told he's back. So let me get him to conclude in just a minute.
Please,
I beg you. Daniel, sorry, we lost you, and we're told that you're back on. Hello. Please unmute your mic so that we can.
Yes, I'm back.
Yes, good. So let's try and wrap up as quickly as we can. So I was asking about what steps you intend to take to deal with this problem, because we don't want to come back, complaining, and there's no solution in sight. So what do you intend to do concretely to deal with this problem? Just briefly.
Okay. All right. Thank you. My brother, I think there is a way forward.
Okay.
But then, before we see this way forward, the first thing is that we have to admit that something is not right. We have to admit that something is wrong. That is the first thing we need to admit. After we are able to admit that something is wrong, then another thing is that GES have to know that the children in question are properties of some people. Okay? So you need their concerns as well. You need their opinion as well on how to probably end up, taking decisions for these children. You see, we want to engage. We've done everything. As I speak to you, we have written to the GES, yes, on several issues. We have to engage them and then probably make sure that we sit together and dialogue and look at the way forward. There are other stakeholders that the GES need to bring together to take certain decisions. But the problem here is that they want to do everything by themselves, and anything they bring, I tell you, most of it is wrong. It's wrong. It ends up giving somebody an extra burden. So what we intend doing now is to engage GES, sit them down, find a way out, look at certain issues, and then because one, we need to surely reduce the cost of burden on parents. We need to. So we will tell them where we have problems as parents. Then issue come out, and then together we can dialogue and find a way, amicable way to solve this problem. So it's about engagement. It's really about engagement.
Okay. All right, Daniel Vrumlai is the Western Regional Chairman of the National Council of PTA, talking to us about the parents, concerns the parents have about the free SHS and the burden that appears to have been shifted to them. He says 5,000 Ghana cedis, as far as he knows, is the minimum that the parents must have if you want to get your child to go to school. And that's why he's concerned. He says he intends to meet the GES to find some amicable solution to the problem because they can't bear it anymore. Nanaya, where do you stand on this? What information do you have about this free SHS? Or you have a totally different...
Good morning to your viewers and good morning to everybody. Good morning to my brother. I want to send condolences to the Woyongo family. Uncle Mark was like my father. His death has come as a shock to me and everybody. And this morning I say...
That's Mark Woyongo?
Yes, Mark Woyongo. This morning I say my condolences. I just, we need to put everything in perspective.
Okay. Before you do that, those of you who are calling the 0249 line, please don't. I'm told a lot of parents are calling the line. Please don't. Send us a WhatsApp or a text message to 0249 155 646. You are inundating the line with calls. Please don't call. We beg you. Just send us a message and we'll read it for you. Thank you. Please go ahead.
You see, the point is that the populism of this government has clouded what free SH is. They should tell us what are the parameters.
Okay.
What is the scope? When you talk about what do they mean by free SHS? Is it only taking the fees and feeding? What is free SHS? You see, because of the populism, they are not able to tell us. And one, we didn't do any pilots. Do you get me? Whenever you are doing such a policy intervention which has widespread financial implications, you need to do a pilot. But they have to come and tell us what is free SHS. You see, if they're able to tell us free SHS is I'm paying your fees, which is not much. I'm paying feeding. I'm providing books, which was when we were in school, in secondary school. When you go to school, you go to the teacher's staff common room and go and pick your books.
Right.
Your notebooks and everything are given to you, all the subjects. Even in our time, they gave us textbooks.
Yeah.
So what is free SHS? The government should come and tell us.
There must be some clarity on that.
Yeah, there should be clarity on that, because you see, most of the things, for instance, the man from Western, the chairman,
Daniel Vroom,
yeah, he was talking about transportation.
Yes.
The cost of transportation is a factor of the mismanagement of the economy.
Right.
And the cost of transportation is not part of free SHS. I mean, you have to have that. So if government says, unless government says that I will pay the transport for your child to go to school. As far as we were concerned, when we were kids, our father used to take us to school. He, as a politician, if he's not around, the driver will take us. Anytime he had a little opportunity, because he wants us to be close, he will take us.
Okay.
But when he's not around and doing his politics all over the place, the driver will take us.
Right.
Or there are times he says that I want you to be ordinary. I want you to mingle. Take the bus. Take trotro just to know what the world is all about.
Okay.
Do you get me? So, I mean, the transportation to the school is not that
That's
one.
not government's responsibility. That's a parent's
The
responsibility.
high cost of transportation is a factor of mismanagement of the economy. Because you have to buy.
But Nana, do you blame a parent who hears a politician, a government spokesperson say free SHS you only need?
That is what I'm saying, that
Sponge, and you're
the
good to go.
propaganda and the populism of the free SHS, because this government, the only thing they've been able to do that makes sense is free SHS. So anything that you do, they talk about free SHS. So what is the scope of free SHS? For me, as I said, I do not think transportation is part of free SHS.
Okay.
And also, I live in Savannah and I decide to take my son to the Western region for school. Once there are schools there's Ghana Tamale secondary school in Tamale, Savannah, and the Northern region. There were even one, and now it has been divided. So if I take my child to the Western
They
region,
have to bear the cost.
Yeah, that is not the responsibility of government. Let's be very honest. I don't lie. I always want us to be this thing. Transportation is not the responsibility of government. So they should tell us what is free SHS. It is key.
I get it.
Number two, this 5,000 they are spending, what does it cover? Do you get me?
Yeah.
It is also a factor of high cost of living and the lowering of the standard of living. So this 5,000 everybody is talking about, what does it cover?
Right.
Do you understand?
If I saw the people have sent me messages say it's usually food, water, food, water.
So that is the point. So what kind of food? Then we need to, the media and everybody should investigate what kind of food are they giving to the kids in school.
Okay.
Because when we were in secondary school, we used to eat from the dining hall, but you also take provisions to school.
Yes, Gary Shito,
sardine,
Nido,
yes, everything.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I mean, soap for you to wash. Do you get me? When I was a little girl, I was a foodian. So my father used to give extra food to me, and at his cost. And I was also allergic to certain things. So maybe some of the things they will put in the food at the dining hall might not sit well with me. Yeah. So we need to have a holistic approach. If I'm spending 5,000, if I go and buy cornflakes and other things and I'm spending 5,000, that is my distance. So what is it that students are spending? Government said they will cover that they are not covering. Yeah. Like somebody just asked me that there is this track suit, the sports track suit.
Yes.
They said that government is giving it for free, but now parents are paying 250 Ghana cedis. Does it include the 5,000?
Right.
Do you get me?
I get it.
So that is why there's the need, as His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said, that there's the need for a stakeholder meeting. And that when he takes over, he's going to have a total stakeholder meeting, of which this government should have done long ago, with parents, with children, with everybody, to come and tell us what the experiences are.
Okay.
Even infrastructure. Because now the chairman is saying that children are traveling long distances. That is why there's a need for day schools. with the same kind of capacity, with the same kind of syllabus, everything, so that people can go to day schools within their community. So you reduce the burden of the prospectors and all those things.
But how about,
so the prospectors, whose responsibility is it under free SHS?
That's a good question.
These things we should take. Whose responsibility is it under free SHS? Is it the responsibility of the parent, or is it because today government is broke, so they think that the responsibility should be on parents? If there should be some form of burden sharing, the government should come out and say that there should be burden sharing. We need it. As Honorable Kenufuriata said, that I can pay my child's school fees. As Ms. Bell said, I can pay my child's school fees. So if there is a need for targeting, because if you target, then it means that you are targeting those who really need to benefit from free SHS. That is work to be done. Because you see, this government always does things in the lazy man's way. They use the lazy man's approach. Everybody on block free SHS. Because you see, if parents are spending money, your prospectus is just for the first year. My son, my daughter is entering SHS. So if the second year they are still spending that much, then it means there's a flaw. It means government is unable to do feeding. Feeding that used to be in the hands of the school, that the beggars and the headmasters will come together and buy maize, buy rice and all that. Now it is with buffer stock. Meanwhile, the buffer stock here is empty. Do you guys see? Buffer stock, they have created third parties as just for party apparatchiks and party cronies to provide food for these schools. And when the government is unable to pay these people, do you get me? Then they cannot also supply.
Yeah.
So buffer stock is empty. So the children are not getting food to eat.
Right.
So more it is, we need to sit down, have a better perspective, divide everything into blocks. And government should come and tell us which is my responsibility, which is not my responsibility. Because the deputy minister brought out a long list of prospectors and added that, the director general of GS.
Yes,
added that these are things that parents should start saving to buy.
Yeah.
That's why they have brought it out long enough.
Right.
So if this is the responsibility of parents, let's know what is the responsibility of parents.
Right.
And let us know what is free SHS. You see, because of all we don't know. Everything is mangled together.
Yeah.
So parents are complaining. It is possible that the prospectors under the scheme of free SHS is the responsibility of parents. Let's know. If government, you are able to feed, go back to the old system where the school procured their own food.
Okay.
Do you understand me?
So what you're saying is that a proper definition of the scope and parameters of free SHS will let parents know what their responsibilities are and what the responsibilities of parents are. Because at the moment, it's untidy.
Up. Yes. So that is why somebody is talking about transportation. Transportation will never be the responsibility of government. Where you choose to take your child, when you are filling the form, government doesn't fill it for you.
Yeah.
So if you are in Accra, you want your child to go to Mfantsipim instead of Accra Academy, that is not prerogative of government.
But there are also instances where you choose the school closer to where you live, but your child doesn't get it.
That is also a flaw of Baumia's digitalization.
Oh no! Computer places been doing that.
But you see, you people, sometimes I don't understand you. When they came, they said they are going to improve on everything, and that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was not doing things right. So the point is that if you are improving, now it is worse. You see, let me also say something.
Yeah.
Everybody, when people say that, we have been gagged, how can you be gagged? Everybody in this nation should go and listen to our national anthem.
Maybe listen to the president.
We listen to our national anthem. It says that we should resist God should give us the capacity to resist the rule of the oppressor and also have a fearless honesty. Everybody should go and listen to the words of the national anthem that Kwame Nkrumah gave to us. So I cannot see how anybody, Charles or Nagras, a group, you will say that you don't want to talk. Who will do anything to you? Even if you are transferred, you are doing it for the good of the nation. One day, somebody will know that you spoke on the matter.
Yeah.
And when the chairman was speaking, he said they were going to go and meet GES. Why do you want to meet GES? What power has GES got? It is the Ministry of Education.
Yeah.
The minister. They should meet him and tell him in his face that when you sit in your office at the ministry, you don't know what goes on everywhere. So please get up and go around and go and do an inspection. Stop sitting in the ivory tower and stop always wanting to be vice president. If you cannot manage free SHS, can you manage this nation? We don't want a second anything. No. You cannot manage this. You want to be vice. All of them, everybody wants to be vice instead of the work they have given to them to do. Some people want to be
but
president.
There's nothing wrong with being aspirational, Anaya.
Please do the work that you have been given. You see, you are aspirational based on what you have done.
Okay.
They have given you a ministry to look after children. This is the future of our nation. You see, today we are talking about food. We are talking about spending money. My dear, let a product of the free SHS, write an essay for you.
Are you saying quality has been...
I am telling you.
Compromised?
Please. The THAT, they write it DAT, that.
But that's not because of free SHS.
But because of what?
Haven't we always had...
No, not... Look, I'm telling you, when we were young, even our children, those who didn't go through the free SHS, they do well. They do well. They speak good English. They write good English. Because of free SHS, the teachers... You see, the children are home from November, December, January, February, 5 months mean TBDA. That people in free SHS, I know of a boy in my area. I saw him at. I said, "What are you doing?" He said that, "Oh, we are home." And his mother told me that, "Madam, do you know the kind of fees we are paying for extra classes?" That is also add on to the cost. We are not even looking at that. We are looking at prospectors. That when they are home 5 months, especially the girls, in order that they do not go and get pregnant, you need to engage them. And you need to get a teacher for them at home 24/7, like they are in school. Some of them have subject and part-time teachers for the 5 months. And that is also cost because the government even didn't think about facilities, classrooms, dormitories. Some of the young ones are sleeping in hostels. Do you know why we had the boarding system? So that children will be protected. Children who have led homes will be protected.
Yeah.
Now they are in hostels. They cross the street to go and sleep elsewhere. In between, nobody is monitoring them.
Okay.
The girl child, they are on their own.
Yeah. Clearly there are challenges. And we there's a second topic I want us to discuss, and so maybe we'll pipe down the free SHS. It's an unending.
Free SHS.
It's always a developing.
I think there's the need for a review. I don't know why the minister. You see, they are behaving like peacocks.
Yeah.
That there shouldn't be a review.
Well, he can't trust the NDC when it's NDC says.
This is not.
That's what he says.
No, but the children in school, they are not children of only NDC people. They are children of CPP. They are children of NDC. People who are not politicians, market women, carpenters, everybody. Yeah. The whole nation. We are in a crisis.
All right. Tons of messages. I'll read them. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be catching the next STC bus to Ekumfi to find out why development has stalled in Ekumfi. The chiefs are angry. They are not happy. They went to see the president. The president says, "Yes, it's true. I'm not developing Ekumfi because you guys, I gave you a deputy minister who is also an MP. You decided to kick him out. So you should blame yourself. If you have kept him there, I would have been so minded to bring development to Ekumfi." Did the president goof, or he's just stating the obvious? The obvious, which is that politicians tend to spend a lot of their resources in areas where they get the most votes. Or that's not the case. Maybe I'm wrong. When I come back, we'll look at that. But let me do this. This one says that from Auntie Emilia, she says, pragmatism, that is what this country is lacking. Please tell Nanaya Jantua that the minister is also working under the president's supervision and vision. Maybe if they get to become vice president, they'll be better placed to correct the situation. Okay, I think it's in response to what you said, instead of concentrating on doing the job. The person willed more authority and power to do the job.
They should leave the president to do everything on his own.
So David from Ho in Volta region says, "Hi, Moro, good morning to you and your panelists. Please, the free SHS policy is a total failure and hasn't met its goals because of the government poor planning, supervision, and priority. This government has distorted the entire educational system at all levels, and I believe that with what we're experiencing, the future is in serious danger. David from Whole Sense, this one. Nene, Community 17, Tema. He says that Akufo-Addo is... It's coming in thick and fast. Akufo-Addo is a monumental disaster. The byproduct is what we're seeing, witnessing under his governance. The whole free access program needs a general overhaul and review. Nene 17, Tema. I have twins in school. These children go to school on Friday, which is the pre-opening day, and they are not fed until Monday. Really? They are not fed until Monday. Why? And the children will have to feed themselves with the food they buy, they brought from home. We buy the books, etc. My children are home for 4 months and have to pay 1,400 Ghana cedis as extra classes fee.
Yes.
I have to give them money every single day. There's more. Wow. Wow. That's from a parent. This one here says that the problem lies directly on GES. GES must check properly the prospectus of each school. If children are supposed to have equal opportunity, why must a student spend different amount on prospectus? The GES and the school administration must look at it. I'm a parent and my second child just got admitted to SHS and I spent close to 3,800 Ghana to get some items for him, but left a few things to provide again. So where is the free education? What is free here? Okay. This one says, I don't know the adjective I will use to describe Edichum, the education minister. What is his educational background? The SHS needs improvement and not review. A minister? This is nonsensical. Joe Isla says, Audu, my ward has asked me to bring him banku because there's no food at dining. He's finished the gari within 2 weeks. Or maybe he likes
Which
to
is
eat
not
a lot.
even healthy.
And Anaya said when she was in school, she loved to eat a lot. So when you have a child who's also gluttonous, or is a glutton, it means you have to.
It's not a glutton, it's a foodie, and don't say
food.
glutton. Don't use
Okay,
glutton.
so it's a foodie.
Yes.
All right. So free. So this one here is free SHS is not free for everybody. My daughter was a day student at Seco. I had to rent a house at Kojokrom, paid TNT each day from Monday to Friday, provided food, etc. Am I part of the free SHS? Well, maybe that's part of your responsibilities. Richmond Bodga says, please, we're burdened with financial crisis. Prospectus alone is a serious matter, plus PTA dues, poor food quality. We have to buy the pamphlets to learn. Please, the government should rethink the whole thing. It's a scam to call this thing free SHS. It's a scam. Richmond from Bolga. Alexander Tinkron from Medina says, I think it's better we get technocrats to draw policies on education rather than leave it to the politicians who know nothing. Again, I want you to ask Honorable Lady Chum that can he do this in USA where he claimed he was trained to just leave parents to their fate? Thanks from Alexander Tinkran. This one says, good morning, sir. My name is Boabeng from Medina. My daughter is at Wesley Girls and I spent more than 10,000 cedis before she was able to go to school. Please, the government should review it to reduce our burden small because we parents are suffering. Al-Hassan Sise from Zenu Central says, good morning to you and your station. In fact, I have to spend 6,500 Ghana last year before my ward could go to school. Maxwell from Kumasi says, honestly, I don't see this as free education. My younger brother is still home because we couldn't afford all the stuff he had to buy. When I was in school, most of these things like uniform, books, etc., were provided by the schools. What is free about this education? That's Maxwell from Kumasi. Kwame Gbejo, he says, you need about 10,000 cedis for you as parents to feel comfortable sending your child to school. You need to splenish. I don't know. I think you need to spend. Replenish their stock every other week. If you make a mistake of neglecting your child, you end up in hospital. Dining hall in the school cannot even feed any child. Free SHS is a scam. The schools are handicapped. Teachers cannot talk. Headmasters are gagged. And the media had gone to sleep on main issues confronting education in Ghana. That's coming from Kwame. Richard from Kotubabi says, my daughter was admitted into SHS last year, December. Till now, they haven't started classes. And they're spending only 3 months. And 1 month is already gone out of the 3 months. I spent close to 5,000 on prospectus. This one, Martin from Takrade says, please, this free SHS system, Charlie, it's not easy. Parents are virtually buying everything. And then Malam Isa from Junction says that, good morning, I'm sorry, sir, but a lot of the parents who go for loan or borrow monies to get their wards in school can't text you or WhatsApp you. Please open the phone lines and you hear things. The real parents who go through hell to get that 5,000 or more to get their wards admitted, listen to their voice and you will understand or be in their shoes. I'm Abbas from Malam Isa Junction. Wow, the messages, I beg you, relax small. I was the one who asked you to send it. Looks like right now everything was okay to me. Anyway, I'll read it when I come back. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be catching the next bus from STC to Ekumfi to find out how development in that area is going and what the president intends to do. I'll be right back.
Atukujo. No, yeah, MP war. The man be a minister.
Atukujo was your NP and I made him a deputy minister, but you voted him out of parliament in the last elections. Because of that, I did not pay attention to the development in your area. I have to be honest with you.
This is the statement that has generated a lot of debate and concerns from political watchers. President Akufo-Addo neglecting the people of Ekumfi because they voted the NPP MP out of office in the 2022 general elections. This is not the first time the president has openly expressed his dislike for a section of the country that did not vote for him. Ekumfi is in the central region, home of former President John Evans Atta Mills of blessed memory. The area hosts the Ekumfi Juice Factory, and the residents, mostly farmers, contribute to developing Ghana. Ekumfi is not the only constituency the president has condemned for not voting for his party. In the pain and difficult times when the people of South, North and Central Tongue were swept by floods, the president told them in the face that they did not vote for him. The directive principles of state policy in the 1992 Constitution 006D is clear on developing every part of Ghana once elected as president, undertaking even and balanced development of all regions and every part of each region of Ghana, and in particular improving the conditions of life in the rural areas and generally redressing any imbalance in development between the rural and the urban areas. The president's utterances have raised concerns.
I think it is unfortunate. I was not expecting my president, your president, to make such comment, because people vote for political parties based on their own conviction and according to certain circumstances of the time. They are not going to vote based on the fact that this is the present candidate or anointed child that we need to support through thick and thin. No.
Again, the directive principles of state policy emphasizes the state's promotion of the culture of political tolerance by all. Key questions come into play. Is the president showing intolerance? The 1992 Constitution remains clear again on keeping the people of Ghana together. It promotes integration of the people of Ghana and prohibits discrimination and prejudice on the grounds of place of origin, circumstances of birth, ethnic origin, gender or religion, creed or other beliefs. This is all done to keep the unity of the state intact.
If you read the Constitution says that every part of this country needs their fair share of development.
Some political watchers have suggested the president is exiting and so has very little remembrance of these. Governance analysts have called the president's reaction as a sign of discrimination and political intolerance. What could be influencing the president's sudden utterances?
At age 80, you have 10 years plus in terms of a God-given additional years that God has given you. Because the year they say 70 years, so you are 80. You should be more worried about things that will be.
All right, so we have arrived in Ekumfi. Unfortunately, we can't show you pictures of Ekumfi. We're still here in the studio, but never mind. I was just being figurative. Thing about it is, the president met some traditional leaders sometime this week that paid him a courtesy call to, among other issues, discuss the, the status of development in Ekumfi. And you heard what the president said. I don't need to repeat it. Let me bring in my resource persons who are still with us here. Honorable Kojo Edwasari is the former member of parliament for the Adenta constituency and also Nane Ajantua, former general secretary of the CPP. I'll start with Honorable Kojo Edwasari. Now, what do you make of what the president said? You're a politician. Do you find anything wrong with what the president has said?
Moro, I think the president goofed for the first, not for the first time. I mean,
He has goofed.
As always.
Yeah, as always, I should say. And this it only goes to buttress the assertion that some of us have heard about him, that he's only concerned about his party, people's welfare. So once you vote for him, then he's on your side. If you didn't vote, recently before this particular statement was made to the Kumfi people, he was in the Volta region and a similar statement was made there. He doesn't know when to play, and when to be serious as a president. He mixes everything up and he ends up goofing big time. But of course, the president couldn't have made this statement to a serious group of people, because those who went to him to discuss this particular matter had already adulterated their presence with their own agenda that they sent there. Okay, they mixed up, or they diluted their essence of going to meet a president by first and foremost going to discuss President Mills's autopsy. Okay, and for me, my brother Koku Anyidoho, I think it's about time you put the brakes. Okay, because if this direction you are heading will help you, by now you would have seen the signals. Please, I like you personally because I worked with you. We were all proteges of the late president. And you know the role some of us, or the way that the late president, the space he had for me personally, and you as well. So let us allow President Mills's soul to rest. Let us do that. We owe him that privilege. Let us keep his memory. Let us allow posterity to cherish the memory that we have of this man. Let us not denigrate and create all this kind of mess behind him. Your name is Koku Anyidoho. Anyidoho is a very powerful name in this country. At least I know the professor and I know the general. I don't know which one's child
General,
or son
that's
you
the
are.
general's son.
Please, these are people who have served this country and have upheld these names in high esteem. And it is only proper that with the privileges that you've been offered in the NDC over the years, especially by President Mills, you should be able to carry your own name forward and don't denigrate the Atta Mills' name. The name Atta Mills is a family name of which you don't belong. Sam was Samuel Atta Mills, which is the younger brother of President Mills, was with him morning, afternoon, evening, night, till he died. You had your office somewhere. This man was working with him in his office and in his home, in his residence. He was with him morning, afternoon, evening, night. Wherever he was there. You don't know any better than Sami Atta Mills. You don't. So please, let this matter rest. And for the president to have gone all the way to feign ignorance of where the autopsy report is, and for that matter, why it become, he should come and publish it. And when he's done, he should publish his own health status in addition, so that we also know what health status he personally, even as our president, If that one is not necessary as a country or for us to know his health status, then he has no business seeking a dead person's autopsy.
Okay.
What will that do to him or do for him?
Let me read a statement which has been issued by Ekumfi Youth, and then I'll come to Nana Jantua. This one says, "We the youth of Ekumfi in the center." So it's a press statement which was issued on the 18th of January, 2024, and it says that Ekumfi Youth Association, Ekumfi District Assembly, "We the youth of Ekumfi in the Central Region have watched and listened with shock a certain news item circulating on social media platforms reporting that Nana Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic, has publicly disclosed to some of our traditional leaders who visited him at the Jubilee House to discuss some development issues. In that video cited, the President indicated how he deliberately withheld development and neglected the people of Ekumfi because they voted against him, or they voted against Honorable Kingsley Atukujo, a member of his party, in the 2020 polls. Now, the statement from the President to us, the people of Ekumfi, has made us feel incredibly disappointed and flabbergasted. We never in our lives thought or expected that such a statement could come from the father of our land to us, because we all refer to him as the father of the land. In fact, we still cannot fathom why our president made such a statement. And as a result, we have begun to ask ourselves some questions like, one, are the people of Ekumfi not among the Ghanaians who pay taxes to the government for development projects in the country? Two, is Ghana not a democratic state where the citizens have the right to vote for whom they want to lead them? Should citizens be forced to vote for a particular candidate in elections? In reality, we're very unhappy about the president's comment and are demanding an apology from the president from the office of the president. Do you think the president should apologize, retract and apologize with this, Nana?
Why not? He has to retract and apologize. Really? Yes. But you see, all these things, it started because Koku went there with a group to talk about President Atta Mills' autopsy. And Koku has always been on this thing about the suspicion around that somebody killed.
The circumstances leading to Atta Mills' death.
But you see, I want to tell you something. In this world, I always say that blood revengeth blood. So if truly somebody killed Atta Mills, you don't even need an autopsy. A time will come, if truly, it will come up. And whoever did that will pay for it. So I think he should just chill and let it be. It is igniting all manner of issues, because if he hadn't gone there, the president wouldn't have made this statement. But you see, now as it stands, even the NPP themselves, they are confused. They are even confused about their own colors. The color that signifies them. They don't know whether it is blue or purple.
Right.
As I was coming, I saw a banner painted of His Excellency Mahmoud Bawumia on the bridge. What is the bridge that is here? What is the name, crap? Kentucky Terrier, the footbridge. Yes, bridge, it was painted purple. You get me? Yes. So they themselves, they are confused. They are confused about their existence. They are confused about everything. So they don't even know which way they are going. And more, I will chip this in. It's even possible the free SHS, they are not paying the fees.
Oh, but that's...
Because why are they not allowing them to buy the food? Because if they are paying the money to the school, because the fees is what they use to buy all the food and things.
To cater for their own internal expenses.
So they are not paying. It's possible they are not even paying the school any fees.
That's interesting.
Yes, it's possible.
Otherwise, the school shouldn't struggle.
Yeah, because the fees that we used to pay to the school is what they use, and all the little fees that was there is what they used to run the school, buy food and all that.
Or they do pay, but it doesn't come on time.
I don't think they pay.
They supply them.
They supply with items. Yes, that's all.
Oh, so it's not physical cash.
They don't give them any money. Because you see, when their own budget is not coming to the school, you know, there's an allocation for the ministry.
Yes.
In the ministry, the fees that we used to pay, that is what they used to do all that. But it is possible they are not paying any
Or
fees.
maybe government is taking over what they use the school fees to pay.
They are not paying them anything. Because if you say free SHS, you should give me the money. It's free for the students and the parents, not the school.
I see. I get it. I get it.
So what
it.
You see,
because it's actually part of their internal
generated funds.
Exactly, IGF.
Yeah, so they are not getting anything.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
So for this one, Ekumfi, what are we talking about?
But I'm just saying that what the president has said.
The president has said.
Is it strange?
He has said.
But politicians.
No, politicians. I beg you. You see, the president, they are confused. They don't. If they can't even know their own colors, they don't know what time of day it is. Even in Ashanti region, that they are strong, what have they done? You shouldn't come and give excuse that because they voted against somebody. 47 constituencies out of 44, your people are there. Ashanti region, the roads are bad. But go to Achim, the Achim area.
You mean Chebi area?
Chebi area. The roads are good. It's even
First
better
class.
than our motorway.
First class.
First
Really?
class. But you don't
In
have.
Chebi?
I passed there the last time. I didn't see any human being. My eyes could see only
Yeah, but
dwarfs.
charity must start from home.
I am saying
That's where
dwarfs
he
were
comes
just
from.
there were just dwarfs walking on the street.
But is there anything wrong with that? He comes
What is
from
wrong?
there. He does his home.
But how many votes that? Because he's talking about votes upon his own premise of an argument. He's talking about votes. That because you did not vote for my person. So what about the people who vote for him?
Yeah, but when it comes to Chebi, it's not about votes again.
But it's
his
about-
home. Even if it's one person.
If it's his
that
home,
votes for
did
him,
he
that's
use
home.
his own money? Who said
well,
that you
you
use
have a
government
point.
money to develop your home?
Well, you have a
Like
point.
he's doing with the cathedral. You make a promise to God, then you come and use our money to build the cathedral. You didn't even build. You haven't built it. You've dug a hole and spent 399 million. So what are you talking about? In Ashanti region, where it is his own stronghold, what has he done for us? So I mean, the argument is neither here nor there.
I get you.
It's just an excuse. They don't know what they have to do. Do you understand? And the central region voted for MPP in 2020.
True.
In 2016. So if a Kumfi is at a segment of the central region, at least be grateful and look at the mother. That is the whole region, and do something there. But you said because they did not vote for one person. Okay, when Honorable Kujo was the MP, what did he do? Because whatever he did 4 years ago, it wouldn't have been broken down. It would have transcended to 2024 and over.
But it's the same in
Kumfi
Kumfi
juice.
where there's a Kumfi juice factory.
Please, a Kumfi Juice Factory is a
But you
private.
can't say-
Please, I beg you. It is a private sector-driven initiative, which is part of the business support of the 1D1F.
Yeah, so. But
1D1F, they didn't tell us it's going to be a business support scheme. They said that they are going to build factories from scratch.
No, they also said it in the manifesto that they will
We didn't
support
see the
existing-
manifesto.
Existing,
What they said on the
factories.
platform, how many people read? So we listen and we hear. How many people can read?
Yeah, but if you don't read, that's your part. That's a
But
problem.
me, me-
to conclude by saying
for
you've
me,
been deceived.
Please, me, I am CPP.
Will not be fair.
Do you get me? Huh? Would I go and pick MPP manifesto when I have mine to look at? How many people in? Okay, let's do a census. How many people in Ghana have the MPP manifesto? Even they themselves, when they are on set with you and they want to look at it, they flip through it. They can't go to the place definitely. So I am saying that a Kumfi juice, where can I find a Kumfi juice? If a Kumfi juice is working, I would do. Then it means that we should not have series in town.
Okay.
Because it's made in Ghana. We should not have Don Simon. Ghanaians should not patronize Don Simon.
Yeah, but you can't stop
You
people
cannot.
from
I am
buying
saying that
or
you
exercising preference.
you cannot find a Kumfi juice anywhere.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
You
take away
find
the
it
fact-
on-
Yeah, but it doesn't take away the fact that the factory is there.
But the factory, how many people can it
Producing
employ?
for who?
Producing, maybe how many? They are talking about development,
Capacity.
and it's possible they were specific because of Koku's thing overtook everything. It's possible they were specific about the kind of development they were looking for.
I agree with you.
Schools,
Yeah,
maybe
the
roads, and
water.
maybe a market, water. A Kumfi juice cannot provide that.
Okay.
And these are developments that it is their due, because the government is in charge of our resources.
Yeah.
You see, the gold, the silver, the bauxite, everything, it is for us all. And we have employed Nanado and his government. They are in employment. We Ghanaians, we
Are paying them.
Yes, we are the employers. And all the facilities that we have, it is for us. All the resources is for us. We have employed them and they are not working properly. So I believe that 2024 we should not waste time.
All right.
We should just get them out of power because they are just a complete mess.
Okay.
And they are even confused. Their own colors. They don't know the difference between a
right.
purple and a blue.
All right. Daniel Jantua is the former General Secretary of the CPP. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Honorable.
Moro,
well-
this subject on this
Yeah,
of free SHS,
Yes.
we have not
No, we
exhausted
have not
the
exhausted
quota of
it,
it.
no.
That's fine. That's fine.
We need to
I
really
can,
talk
I can
about
promise
it.
you that next week Saturday we'll do a part 2 of it. I'll get it to the team.
And it should be only free SHS.
Yeah, just
and I
free
think
SHS,
that you
just
should
free
get
SHS.
them here.
Yes, I'll get the parents
And
here.
Yes.
give parents at least 30
30
minutes.
30
minutes
minutes to
or
talk,
about.
yes.
That's fine. Because I'm more interested in So when they say free SHS, what is their understanding of free SHS?
Yes, what they
What do you think is their responsibility?
Yes.
And which aspect of the responsibility do they want government to take care of, and what they know they can bear?
My dear,
I think that's a whole conversation. I agree with you.
Give me just there was a lot of misconception about the free SHS.
Yeah.
When 2016, when I go to the market to buy, the market women were saying that they are going back to school because they were going to get free SHS.
We saw that.
Yes.
We saw that advert. And you're absolutely right. And because of the misconception,
if we get a chance to come here again next week, I want to deal with the NDC's perspective of free SHS.
I get it. It's very important. Thank you so very much, Honorable Idrasari, for passing by. We're so grateful we had you here. And also, Nana Ajantwa, thank you so very much. My name is Aldo Moro. Once again, we sincerely apologize for not starting on time today. We had some technical challenges. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.